Here we have Eucalyptus globulus. This is an Australian introduction, a very successful tree in California. This was a tree that was thought to be possibly a good lumber tree, furniture, railroad ties, and other purposes, but it didn't work out as a good lumber tree. Too difficult to mill and handle, with a lot of helix in the wood. However, as a landscape tree, they're amazing. They're phenomenal. They're powerful, they're large, they grow fast, they create tremendous habitat, home for birds, lots of nests in the eucalyptus. But it's a very dominating tree, and they have a lot of presence in the landscape. They don't belong everywhere. But in this case, this tree contributes a lot to the landscape. It's well appreciated here. And we see one of the key characteristics is this tremendous bark production that is typical of Eucalyptus globulus. We're here now in August, mid-August, and you see all the bark shedding that is taking place. So this is one that the fire guys don't like to see very much. This is fuel load in the canopy, so sometimes arborists will intentionally remove some of this material to clean up and tidy up the landscape and to take fuel load out of the trees. Eucalyptus globulus has been a successful windbreak tree. They're strong in the ground, they'll take a lot of wind. In strong wind, the up-pointing long leads of the tree, the multiple leader form of this tree, will pick up a counterbalancing harmonic rhythm. So as the first branches in the canopy receive the wind, they'll spring in, and then the branches and leaders deeper into the canopy, then they'll respond, and then the far fringe will respond, and they'll produce this counterbalancing, neutralizing force. This kind of a harmonic that the tree develops in the canopy prevents all of the wind loads from all being levered in the same direction at the same time. So they have this kind of neutralizing wind spill characteristic. Also, the branches, the lateral limbs, and the leaves will stream out horizontally, and they'll flutter in the wind, and they'll dampen out those wind loads to the point that the tree does not fail. When they do throw limbs, they oftentimes tend to be fairly large. 4, 5, 6 inches in diameter are not uncommon for this species in just normal self-pruning wind throw. This is why we don't like to see them go in as close-in urban landscape trees. They should be inspected and pruned and groomed frequently to keep them free of dead wood, to keep them safe in the urban landscape. It's a strong root crown. It's a well-anchored tree. We find that they seldom fail unless they've had root injury. And the root injury is also because of the urban setting. Curbing, sidewalks, streets, driveways, root cuts end up being made in landscape trees. This is a tree you don't want to injure the root system of. They will tolerate some root interference, but it's a good precaution to minimize your root damage to the big eucalyptus. They're massive, they're tall, they vary in height. They will oftentimes go over 100 feet if they're in good soil, in deep conditions, and they receive water. So they can reach a full-scale landscape specimen. You better have a big yard if you want to plant the Eucalyptus globulus. This is a full-size, dominating, powerhouse, jungle giant landscape tree. Therefore, choose your site wisely when you plant the Eucalyptus globulus.